These past few weeks, I have been hearing so much chatter about spec-driven development. Yes, I repeat, spec-driven development. Inside of the Tech Coach Ralph Discord, my guy Ferris was like, you know what? This made developing so much easier for me. It changed everything. And he sent me a link to a GitHub repo called Spec-Kit. And then, sure enough, the very next day, I'm in my company's Slack and I see in our AI channel, someone says, "Oh my goodness, have you heard of Spec-Kit, this GitHub repo?" And I'm like, I think I need to go and check this out because this might be something. This might be something. So as I was skimming through this Spec-Kit repo, it reminded me of when we used Amazon's Curo last week, and it has a way to build a project based off specifications. So like building specifications first, it kind of reminded me of it. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this together. Let's go ahead and go through the GitHub repo, see what this whole spec kit, this spec driven development is all about, and then we can see if we can set up our IDE and maybe create a project in it to see if we can get started with something, and then we can take it on a live stream to actually explore this, build something together live so that we can get some hands-on experience with this spec driven development and this repository called Spec-Kit to see what we can build. All right, so welcome to another episode of Software Explorations, Concept and Overviews, hosted by your Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineer to win, or like my friends like to say, I do my very best to annoy you to success. Like I said, today we're going to be looking into spec-driven development, the repo particularly on GitHub called Spec-Kit, to see what it is, how it works, and if we can get it set up so that we can get ready for our live stream where we'll be actually going through Spec-Kit. All right, so let's jump into it. There's no time like the present. All right, so this is the repo, and I will post it inside of the. I'll put it inside of the description of the video, but it's called Spec-Kit, right? And it's just a regular GitHub repo. So we're gonna go through the table of content. We're going to read about it. We'll even watch the video overview to see what this is actually about, how we can use it, if it can make our lives easier in our quest to become better developers, better engineers, better tech people. All right. So let's get into it. So let's start off with what exactly. So let's all right. What is the overall description of Spec-Kit? Right. Build high quality software faster, an effort to allow organizations to focus on product scenarios rather than writing undifferentiated code with the help of spec-driven development. So product scenarios is like building something based on the product, based on the specifications, which is going to lead us into what is spec-driven development. So and this is my first time. This is my first time actually reading what exactly is spec-driven development. I've heard of test-driven development. I've heard of behavior-driven development. I've heard of data-driven development. Now we have moved, and it looks like in the age of AI, we have moved into spec-driven development. So spec-driven development flips the script on traditional software development. For decades, code has been king. Specifications were just scaffolding we built and discarded once the real work of coding began. Spec-driven development changes this. Specifications become executable. Yes, they become executable, generating working implementations rather than just guiding them. So my paraphrase of this is, we're going to start off by generating the specs, and based on the specs, it is going to be generating the code base. It's going to be directing our code rather than we read the requirements and then we just go and start coding it to try to meet the requirements that are set. The requirements, and that's where I guess the AI portion is going to come into this, because AI right now is being used a lot for code. And the interesting thing with this is, if it's going to be using AI to write the code, we have API keys, and it's not like you're paying for a monthly service for this. So based on your API keys, maybe if you don't even have API, like what if you're using like a Llama or using a DeepSeek, which are free from my understanding, then you might not even need to get those paid API keys for it. So that's basically what it is. It gets into the installation of getting started. So let's continue going through the documentation to see how we're going to end up installing this, how we're going to end up using it, right? So it says choose your preferred installation, install once and use everywhere. So I'm not familiar with this UV tool command, which we'll have to see what that is when we go to install it. Then use the tool directly, specify in it, and then the project name, specify check. Let's see. We'll have to see in the documentation a little bit more what these what this check command does. In it, it always stands for initialization. You'll be putting a project name that you want to initialize. It says run without installing, so you wouldn't install it locally, and you would say straight from the GitHub repo, specify in it. So basically, they're pairing this command right here. So they're pairing this right here with the specify init, and not having to actually install the application, as you can see here. As benefits of persistent installation, tool stays installed and available in path. No need to create shell alias. Better tool management with UV tool list. I wonder if I need to install something called UV, because I've never heard of this UV command before. So we'll have to see once we get there. But it's possible that you might need to install, maybe since I'm on a Mac, I might need to use brew to install UV. I'm not too sure yet. Cleaner shell configuration, establish project principles, use constitution command to create your project governing principles and development guidelines that will guide all subsequent development. So for example, constitution create principles focused on code quality, testing standards, user experience, consistency, and performance requirements. Create the spec, use the slash specify command to describe what you want to build. Focus on the what and the why and not the tech stack. So that is a big principle in agile development that it's so hard to adhere to, because especially when you have a bunch of tech people in a room, a bunch of engineers in the room, we just naturally gravitate to implementation details, to the tech stack and how we want to build it, as opposed to, all right, let's discuss the specifications, and then once we actually start to build, we'll figure out all those little implementation details in that process, right? So that's gonna be interesting. So here's an example of the specify command in use. Build an application that can help me organize my photos in separate photo albums. Albums are grouped by date and can be reorganized by dragging and dropping on the main page. Albums are never in other nested albums. Within each album, within each album, photos are previewed in a tile-like interface. All right, so that's the specification. And then and as you can see from the specification, there's no mention about tech stack. It's about what they want, which is a photo album. And why do they want it? Because they need help to organize their photos. So that's the specification right there. Next up, we get into the create technical implementation plan. Use the slash plan command to provide your tech stack and your architecture choices. So the specify command has nothing to do with tech stack. The technical implementation plan, that's where it talks about the tech stack and the architecture. So plan, the application uses Vite with minimal number of libraries. Use vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as much as possible. Images are not uploaded anywhere, and metadata is stored in a local SQLite database. All right. And then next we have use slash task to create an actionable task list from your implementation plan. So it seems like when you do slash task, it's going to look at your implementation plan that was generated and create the task from there of all the things that need to be done. And then we have execute implementation. Use the slash implement to execute all tasks and build your feature according to the plan. All right. So your slash task is going to implement the tasks that were created when you did slash task based off the implementation plan that you ask it to generate based on what you passed in. All right. All right, so we're not gonna look at the video interview. I was planning, or the video overview. I wanted to take a look at it, but then I saw the video was 40 minutes. I'm like, all right, that's okay. We're not gonna go and spend 40 minutes watching a video. I'll also put the link to the video in the chat, or in the comment in the description of the video, in case you want to go and you watch it. But I said, you know what, I'm just going to go through the documentation and see how I can get started. So and like I was saying earlier, this uses AI to build all this stuff based on what you're saying. So it has support for Claude, GitHub Copilot, Gemini CLI, Cursor, QuenCode, OpenCode, Windsurf, KiloCode, Augie CLI, Row Code, and Codex CLI. So we have used KiloCode in the past. It is a open source plugin that integrates with VS Code and now with some parts of the JetBrains products, where you can you bring your own API key to have it do work for you, right? To be your coding assistant inside of your code editor. All right, so now we're getting into details about these different commands. The specify command supports the following options. In it, initialize a new specified project from the latest template. Check for install tools such as Git, Claude, Gemini, Code Insiders, Cursor Agents, Windsurf, Quen, OpenCode, and Codex. Something I noticed, right? I do not see OpenAI listed inside of the supported agents, and that's a pretty big one not to have it in there. So I wonder what's up with that. Let's see. So then we have all these arguments, the project, the AI to specify which AI systems to use, script, which one you want to use, it, whether it's Bash, ZSH, or if you want to use PowerShell if you're on Windows. Ignore agent tools. They have no Git to skip Git repository. Here they have force, they have skip TLS, they have debug, and GitHub token. And then this is an example of setting up the project with different parameters, whether you're doing different AI providers, or you're doing the script for like Windows on with PowerShell. And a bunch of different configurations that you can check. And at the end, you do the specified check to make sure everything is running the way that it should be running. Different available slash commands. You have the constitution to create the governing principles. You have the specify to build your requirements. You have the clarify. Clarify under specified areas must be run before plan unless explicitly skipped. Plan, create the technical implementation plan with your chosen tech stack. You have the task to create the task based off of the implementation plan. You have the analyze, cross artifact consistency, and coverage analysis. A run after task before implement. And then you have the execute all tasks to build the feature according to the plan. All right. Then you have environment variables, where you have a specify feature, override feature detection for non-Git repos, set to the feature directory name to work on a specified feature when not using Git branches. All right, so we got that core philosophy. Spec-driven development is a structured process that emphasizes intent-driven development. Keyword here is intent-driven development, where specifications define the what before the how. What do you want to do? You define that first, and then you can talk about how you want to do it. It's still not telling you the implementation, like all the little implementation details. Rich specification creation using guardrails and organizational principles. So those are the constitution, right? Multi-step refinement rather than one-shot code generation from prompts. Heavy reliance on advanced AI model capabilities for specification interpretation. All right. Then it takes you into the development phases: 0 to 1 development, generate from scratch, creative exploration, parallel implementations, and iterative enhancements, brownfield modernization. All right. Let's see. And this stuff is cool. So I think we got everything. I think that we got everything that we need to get started. So I am going to try to install this and see what happens. So we're going up to, we're gonna go, all right, so we're gonna go to the instructions on installing, and I'm gonna go over to here into my code editor, and I'm gonna copy this UV command. I really don't know if this is actually gonna work, because I'm not, like I said, I never seen or used this UV command before. So let's see. So yeah, UV command is not found. UV command is not found. So I guess we could try a brew install UV. Oops, let me stop that. Brew install UV. All right, so let's see what happens if this UV is a common repo that I am not familiar with. Something is installing, so it looks like it might be. So all right, let's see. No outdated dependents. Did it say? I don't know if it said UV was installed. All right, so UV was installed. So now we can actually try the command to UV tool install specify.cli from Git. And there we have it. Simple as that. Simple as that. We have the so we have the repo downloaded, And it says, is not in your path. Use the tools to run this or update UV tool update show. I guess we could try this. Okay. So we got that. Next up, we are going to be looking. So I'm looking at the code here. We want to let's go ahead and let's see. Let's go ahead inside of this folder. We are going to create a constitution. Let's create a constitution, right? So in order to create the constitution, we need to start off with /constitution. Well, it did happen in all right, so no, it should be here. /constitution. And then we're gonna say test principles for software. For test principle. Ooh, my typing got off. Test constitution for SpecKit demo. So, all right, I'm starting constitution wrong. That's why. That's constitution. And I want this one. And we have no such file or directory when we try to put in constitution. Okay, interesting. All right. Oh, you know what? You know why it didn't work? It's because we didn't do the init yet. We did not do the init yet. So if we do specify init, and we do here to use the folder that we're in. Oh, making these typos. All right, specify. All right, so we have something that shows up here. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see it more. We have the specified thing that shows up. It says current directory is not empty. Template files will be merged with existing content and may overwrite existing files. All right, let me do this. Let me say mkdir demo. And if I go into the demo folder and I do specify, I keep making these typos. Specify. All right, so now we're here. Oh, we got to use here as well. And it says, which one do we want to use? So I guess I'll go with GitHub with the Gemini one because I'm surprised that I don't see OpenAI on this because I would want to use OpenAI. But being that I don't have OpenAI, I'll try Gemini. And in order to use Gemini, we need to sign up for the Gemini one directly. All right, so we can do that. All right, so when we went and we tried to choose Gemini, it tells us that Gemini has, so we don't have the Gemini CLI installed. Interesting. So I guess we need to have these things installed in the process to get this thing done. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can install the Gemini CLI. So let's go and take a look at that. And this is like the thing, right? With these explorations, you always end up going down these rabbit holes because like, okay, in order to use this, I need this. In order to use that, then I need that. So let's see what this is. Let's see what this Gemini CLI is. How do we get installed? Let me see. Installation. We're gonna. Oh, so we can use npx to no installation required. Install. So run instantly with npx, or you can install globally with npm. Or you can do, all right, we can do the brew because because I'm on a Mac, but if you're not on a Mac, you can do it with npm. If you're on a Windows, if you're on a Linux, maybe there's a Linux version to install Gemini. So we'll do that. Brew install Gemini CLI. Do it straight from here. Brew install Gemini CLI. So it's going to do that installation. And then once it's done, let's see if there's going to be anything else we need to do for that. Okay. All right. So now that that is done, we're going to try to go through the setup process again. We're going to do specify init here, and it's going to ask us who we want to say we want to use Gemini. And it's going to ask us what script type since we're on a Mac, we're going to use SH, not PowerShell. And some agents may store credentials, auth tokens, or other identifying and private artifacts in the agents folder within your project. Consider adding .gemini or parts of it to the .gitignore to prevent accidental credential leakage. Yeah, we don't like leakage. All right, so let me see. Inside of here, we have our demo folder and our specify folder. All right, so let's try this out, right? So let's do a constitution. So we're gonna start off with, let me see, constitution. You're already in the project directory. Start using your / commands with your AI agent. Constitution. I didn't have to do anything for Gemini, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. Maybe it'll come back and ask us like, oh, you need to get an API key or something like that. But I'm just gonna use the same. I'm just gonna use the same constitution that they had used in the GitHub repo, and then once we do it live, we're gonna change it up a little bit, do our own thing. But we'll start off with this: create principles focused on code quality, testing standards, check user experience consistency, and performance requirements. And it says no such file again. Hmm. Start using / commands with your AI agent. I don't understand why that's not working. Let me take a look at the documentation to see why. So we have all those inits. So where are they used to create your, let me see. If we go here, specify scripts, templates, command constitution, start using / commands with your AI agent. So where would you do that? So I went to look at the video to check something out, and I think I have a better understanding. So, and this is like the thing, like when reading these documentations by these providers, it's always like a little bit tricky, right? But going back and reading it, or going back and watching the video, when we were setting the project up, it talked about which agent that you wanted to use, and it listed a bunch of different agents in there. And the reason that OpenAI wasn't in there is because OpenAI doesn't have an agent like you have for Kilo Code and stuff like that. So what I am seeing here is that we should be able to use let's see. So if we were to go to, I wonder if I can do an init again, right? So let's say we do specify init. here, and we were to do, let me see, we do that. And let's say, yes, I want to continue to overwrite it. And let's say I do kilo code, right? Because those are the agents. So like those are the AI assistants. So it's asking for AI assistant. So here's this AI assistant. When I was looking at the GitHub repo, it's talking about AI agent. So my terminology is a little off on that. So let's say we do sh. All right. So now everything is created. So if I go into so when I installed Kilo on WebStorm, I go over here and then I would have my Kilo here. Let me see. Do I have, so based on what I saw in the video, if I have let's see, so here we don't have constitution. I think I'm gonna have to go into this particular folder. So if I do open and I go into WebStorm, Spec-Driven. Let's say we go into this demo folder here, right? And I'll just say this folder. And now we go to here. Let's see. And now I see this let me see, what is this? Let me see. So if I was to copy from the, let's see, if I copy this, let's see if I try to use this, what happens, right? So analyzing the request, you want to create a set of principles, a constitution focused on code quality. Let's see. I don't know if that's actually working. I don't know if that's actually working. Let's take a look over here. Let's take a look over here. Update or create or update project governing principles. Because according to the video, I don't know if it's actually using. So SMOL see, I see specify MD, which doesn't seem like that would be correct. Let's try this clarify command. The user provided feedback, clarify MD. This likely means the clarification document, probably to elaborate. There is no existing clarify MD file in the workspace. Best. I don't know. I'm a little perplexed by what I see happening here. So I think that this is going to be useful, especially like the fact that you can use it in a tool like Kilo Code, where it's a bring your own API keys type of scenario. But I just think that because if I open up this folder over here for specify, scripts, templates, memory. So there goes, all right, inside the memory here, there's a constitution.md. Let's see, project. That is weird. So what we'll end up doing, right? Because I think this is going to be really, really helpful. But I think that we're gonna need to do this live together, hands-on, because there's gonna be some things that I need to figure out on this, because it's like I would expect, right? I would expect when I was like, if I go here and I just type in slash, I should see the command that All right, maybe that's it right here. I guess that's it because I just don't know why it's saying like .md at the end, but I guess that's what it is there, right? So I did the clarify. Let me see. So let me close this one out. And let's take a look at what the clarify says, all right? Let me close that out and we'll just look at this one. The document provides additional context, rationale, and examples for the Constitution. Okay, I guess that's right. Let's go to okay, so basically at least in Kilo Code, maybe the other applications, maybe the other coding assistants, what they'll do is when you just type in the slash and you go to like an analyze, it doesn't have the .md according to what I'm seeing in the GitHub documentation, but maybe in Kilo Code in particular, it does have it, and that's how it works. But then we would need to come up with a spec that we want to build out. So if we were to say, so if we look at the documentation again, and it tells us to use, so we'll do slash specify and tell it the what and the why on what we want to build. So use the specify command to describe what you want to build, focus on the what and the why, not the tech stack. So here's what we'll do, right? We will stop it right here, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna get into the specify, the plan, and the task, similar to what we did with Amazon Kiro, but we're gonna use it through WebStorm and through Kilo Code, so that we can get a better understanding of how the SpecKit works. Like I said, I've heard great things about it. I'm trying to figure it out right now and share with you, share with my community to see if that's a way that, especially for people who might not be the most technically advanced, if they can get into the coding realm, into the application building realm, because at the end of the day, as much as amazing code is what we want, we also want a product that works and we want to be able to get to market a little bit quicker than what has been traditional, right? So, but we'll leave it at that. So far, so good. I'm learning a lot, exploring this particular repo, this particular tool, and I see it very promising. So far today, we did the Constitution and we did the clarify, but we still have to do the specify, the plan, the task, and the implementation, and we can see where that can take us. And we'll go from there, right? So look out for the live stream where we'll be actually using this SpecKit to do spec-driven development, specification-driven development, and we see how much it can actually bring us forward into developing newer software faster with clean code. Keyword is with clean code. All right, but that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Truly appreciate it. Hopefully you found this valuable. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, do me a big favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, go to techcoach.dev. I have been uploading clips from the Vibe Coding Chill session that we had this past Saturday. I had uploaded a discussion that we had about collaboration. I'm going to be uploading a somewhat discussion where Rod Brown was sharing with us his new rule and about search engine optimization versus generative engine optimization. Is going to be really good at techcoach.dev. It's going to be an exclusive over there, so please go ahead and sign up and get more information that is very necessary about how the tech market is going, and we can grow together. Shout out to the sponsor, resumeflow.app. They just released a new sign up flow, new deals, new packages, so that go ahead and check it out. Get your resume analyzed, upload it, get some instant analysis, see how well you match up to the job that you want, get some feedback, and track the whole job process, including getting 40 interview questions, 20 about your resume and 20 about the job description, so you can get ready, so you can be prepared to land that job. That's at resumeflow.app, the sponsor of this video. But until then, that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's Wednesday. Yes, we are on the other side of the week. Let's work hard. Let's win. Let's run it up. Tech Coach, we are out.
You said it was a vibe, but it's 6 feet deep. Now I'm digging through the rubble of the plans I keep. You flipped the switch, you flipped the script, left me stranded on a sinking ship.
Ask for one thing, just one, but you spun the whip. chasing tails, chasing ghosts. There's myself in the code I host.
You said it was a vibe I could ride.
But now it's a tide. You kill my you won't keep. I'm trapped in this loop, can't escape. Reality warps, the edges reshape. Rabbit holes got me spinning down, burning tokens till I hit the ground.
I asked for one thing, now it's all gone wrong. Kill my vibe like a flatline song. Gotta restore it all, rebuild the flow, but you left me here with nowhere to go. Patch it up, stitch the seams, lost in lines, rewriting dream. What was broken, I'll make it whole. You can't delete my soul.
Every move you made was a match to a fuse. Every word you said felt like bad tattoos. Permanent marks I can't erase. Now I'm stuck in this cage.
You killed my vibe, oh, you killed my vibe. Took the spark, left me empty inside.
You bent the truth. You broke the rhythm, now I've lost my groove. I'll patch it up, I'll make it new, but I won't trust that vibe from you.